Ugh. What a fight we just witnessed with Stephen Fulton and Naoya Inoue. I'm just, wow. I'm still amazed. I'm still shocked by the results. The results are absolutely shocking to me. I just invited my friend to come live with us so he could discuss the fight with me. But this is one of those fights that is going to be remembered. Naoya Inoue, you got to tip your hat off to Naoya Inoue, man. Naoya Inoue really proved me wrong today. You got to put Naoya Inoue in that pound for pound list. I don't want to make any excuses. Naoya Inoue is really a fighter of that magnitude. He is really a special fighter. A lot of people didn't know if his power would translate over to the 122-pound division. And we were all proven wrong today. You know, I thought Stephen Fulton was going to come out with a steady game plan. I thought he was going to establish that jab, come out aggressive. Instead, he came out stagnant. He came out not with the game plan to run away. And I mean, that's not a game.
Oh shit. Yo.
What up? What up, Echo? What up, Echoes? Echoes, man. We got to talk about this fight.
Let's do it, my boy. Let's do it.
So, Naoya Inoue.
There you go. Give him his credit. Give him his credit. You breaking up. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I can hear you better now. Yeah, try that. Try that.
Yeah, so basically, man, from the opening bell, Naoya Inoue came out with a game plan to pretty much put his foot forward on Stephen Fulton, and Stephen Fulton was on the to to box this guy. He came out really stagnant. He came out scared, and he was really on the defense mode from the opening bell, man. I mean, I was really disappointed in how Fulton came out and fought.
Yeah, when he got in there, bro, whatever his plan was, it went completely out the window when Inoue started hitting him, man. That's what happened. Sometimes it be like that. Naoya Inoue is just a way better fighter than him. And that's what I've been telling people. Everybody said
I think not.
Everybody said he's a hype job. He's not the real deal. He's never fought a black fighter. Just all this crazy stuff. He showed all of y'all, man. He showed all of y'all. He made it look easy.
I was definitely one of those people that said that since he had never been in a ring with a slick black fighter, that that it would show in today's fight. And clearly Naoya Inoue is ready for any style that comes his way. He's ready he's ready for a slick boxer. He's ready for a puncher. Any style you bring his way, he's prepared for it. Naoya Inoue really comes out with a game plan to really just put his foot forward and attack you from the opening bell and really throw you off your game plan. And that's what he did to Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton, honestly, I don't know if a lot of people watched the Paul Butler fight before the Fulton fight, but Paul Butler was on the defense mode the whole fight against Inoue as well. And I pretty much saw the same thing from Fulton. He never once came out and really tried to get respect from Inoue on the offensive end. He kind of just was trying to block Inoue's punches, and he blocked a good amount of them, but he never was able to establish an offensive game plan. And I think that's what really ruined Fulton. He was really on the defensive end. Like I said, he had moments in each round where he threw that jab, he threw that overhand right, and he really found his distance good. And I thought he had a good chance to really steal the late rounds. But right before it started to look like Fulton was gaining some momentum, Inoue hurt him And once he hurt him, he put his foot on the gas, and Fulton was not able to recover.
There you go. And that's what happens when you get outboxed, man. That's what happens. Like I said, he just got outboxed. Naoya Inoue, what do you think? He's going to move up to a different weight class? You think he'll keep doing that?
Well, now that Naoya Inoue is the undisputed champion at 122, I want to see him defend his belt at least one time at 122, but I don't think that there's too many fighters at 122 that could really give Naoya Inoue problems. I mean, everyone was saying that Stephen Fulton is the best fighter at 122. So if Stephen Fulton's the best fighter at 122 and he got stopped in 8 rounds by Naoya Inoue, I'm thinking, what is left for Naoya Inoue at 122? I don't think Naoya Inoue should stay at 122 just for the sake of competition. I think he should move up to 126. He said he could fight at 126. I think he should move right up to 126, and he should fight some of the top guys at 126, because now the only question we have is, now we know he's a top pound for pound great. We know he's one of the best punchers in the game. We know that his power translates to 122. He's already dominated 118, 115, and 112. So now the only thing left to do is to go straight up and fight at 126. And honestly, seeing him stop Fulton the way he did, I think his power would translate over to 126. I think he would actually do serious damage at 126, maybe even 130. I think 135 might be his gap stop. I don't know if he would be able to translate his power at 135, because then he would start fighting guys like Javonte Davis and Shakur Stevenson, and I think he's just too small for guys of that magnitude.
He's absolutely too small for those guys, for sure.
He's too small for those guys, but I definitely think at 126 he can make serious noise. I mean, Naoya Inoue is a special talent. The one thing I do have in question about Naoya Inoue is, will he be willing to fight outside of his homeland? We've only seen him fight outside of his homeland in his career twice.
That's a great question. I don't think he will, and I don't think he should, man. I really don't. He's the champion over there. He's the one that you got to beat. I think you have to go over there and you have to beat him. I don't think he's going to leave Japan, and honestly, I don't blame him. I wouldn't either.
That's a fair assessment. A lot of people feel as though since he's the champion, he shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to go somewhere else to defend. I kind of have a different take on that. I feel like, boxing is our number one sport in America, and I feel like since Naoya Inoue is so great, we already know he can sell out in Japan. He's a superstar in Japan. I think he should show some of those talents to the Americans. Having people wake up at 7 a.m. to watch your fight every single time is kind of absurd. I think he should fight in America. I think it's fair for the fans. It's fair for him, and he's proven enough in his homeland. I think it wouldn't be too bad or outrageous for him to come fight in America.
But why does he have to come fight in America just because of the time difference? My thing is, he's in Japan. That's his country. That's where he wants to be. Like,
well, people will obviously make the argument that him fighting in Japan, he's going to have a clear advantage with the time zone. And even though Stephen Fulton did have 2.5 weeks to acclimate, it's hard to acclimate. I've been somewhere for 2 weeks, never with a time zone that different, but it's hard to acclimate 2-3 hours in advance, let alone 10 hours.
I get it. When I went to Hawaii, that's how it was. It was really
right.
Hard.
So the time zone difference is definitely an advantage, whether people want to admit it or not. No excuses though. Naoya Inoue was going to win this fight regardless. I don't think Stephen Fulton came out with the game plan to win this fight. And I mean, you got to tip your hat off to Naoya Inoue. I think he proved.
I think Fulton was shocked, man. I think Fulton was shocked. I think when he got in that ring, he's like, "Holy cow, this dude can fight." That's really what it looked like to me.
Yeah, I think
it was a big shock to him.
Stephen Fulton didn't expect his power to translate. He didn't expect to get hurt by this guy early. I think he was hurt by him early. Naoya Inoue hit him with a couple body shots, and Stephen Fulton didn't look like he wanted to fight. I heard his coach in the corner yelling, "Throw that jab, throw that jab," and like he was throwing it, but then he'd stop and he'd throw feint jabs or he'd throw feints instead of just letting it go. And Naoya Inoue was, I mean, once again, Naoya Inoue was starting to do his little cocky, like, showboating. I mean, it got so easy for Naoya Inoue that he started to showboat on Stephen Fulton after a while. So, it just shows you that Stephen Fulton never once really made Naoya Inoue think or made him nervous or
Nope,
at any point in the fight.
not one time. Naoya Inoue was in control of the fight from the
I can
moment the
honestly
bell
say
rung.
Naoya Inoue was in control of that fight from start to finish.
Yep. And I appreciate you admitting that, because that's exactly what happened. So
yeah, no doubt about it. All the Inoue fans out there that subscribe to my channel, I wanna be the first to apologize. Inoue is a great champion. He's a tremendous fighter, tremendous puncher. He displayed his skill set today. He definitely showed me more than what I thought he was, and he earned my respect today. I will say that Naoya Inoue earned my respect today. I still think Stephen Fulton is a great champion. I think he should move up to 126 and get a rematch with Brandon Figueroa. But clearly, there are levels in this sport, and I don't think he should challenge Naoya Inoue again, considering that it was a dominating fashion
he
win for
dominated.
Naoya.
Yeah, he can't fight him again, bro. He just he's clearly better. Let me ask you this though: what do you think about Naoya Inoue versus Marlon? What do you think of that one?
Versus who?
Marlon Tapales?
Marlon Tabales. That would be a decent fight. I think Naoya Inoue would.
That's what they're saying is probably going to end up happening next.
I think Naoya Inoue would school him, and that's kind of what I was explaining to you. I think Naoya Inoue is just too good for the 122-pound division. There's no names in that division besides Brandon Figueroa, to me, that could give Naoya Inoue even a slightest bit of a problem at that weight class. Brandon Figueroa is the only guy that I think could give him fits. What I think Brandon Figueroa would do that Stephen Fulton didn't do, even though Stephen Fulton's the better boxer than Figueroa. Figueroa is going to come on the attack. He's going to come forward. And I would like to see that fight because he's a much bigger guy than Naoya.
Yep.
Did to Stephen Fulton, but Stephen Fulton was not busy enough. I don't think Figueroa would come out and be as less busy as Stephen Fulton was. Someone commented, Dems Chen. He said Figueroa is slow.
Yeah, read
I
that
agree.
comment.
I think Figueroa is slow. I think Figueroa is slow. However, I think Figueroa has a lot of power, and I think Figueroa throws a lot more punches. He threw over 1,000 punches when he fought Stephen Fulton, although he only landed 300. Throwing 1,000 punches is the recipe to try and beat Inoue. You got to throw punches to beat Inoue.
Yeah, no, you have to. Yeah, you have to attack him. You have to.
They listed Stephen Fulton only landed 48 punches through 5 rounds. That means he was landing, I don't know. If I had to guess, he was landing about 10 punches a round.
Like 12, like 10 or 12 punches around.
10, 12 punches around. That's not enough punches around.
But that doesn't surprise me, man, because honestly, when you watch the fight, it felt like he landed less than that. Like, I'm telling you, man, Naoya Inoue just dominated him the whole fight. Like, I couldn't believe it because I was on your side, right? Like, I knew Naoya Inoue was going to win. I didn't know he was going to win like that. You know what I mean? Like, I thought Cool Boy Steph would have put up a better fight because I really think that Cool Boy Steph was a good fighter. But it just goes to show you, man, Naoya Inoue, he's not good. He's great. He is
great. Naoya Inoue is a great fighter.
He's great.
I just don't understand why Cool Boy Steph, he never... The one thing about Naoya Inoue that I question still is that I think his defense is lackadaisical. I think his defense is still in question. But Stephen Fulton never unleashed enough offensive power or will to really exploit or to show us if Naoya Inoue's defense is not that good.
Right, we didn't get to see it. Yeah,
we didn't get to see that. So we don't know if Naoya Inoue is a true defensive fighter or if Stephen Fulton was just scared to death and he wasn't letting his hands go. I think that Naoya Inoue still has defensive issues. I just think that he has to fight a fighter who's willing to bang with him. I mean, Stephen Fulton was not willing to bang, and that's why the fight was... I mean, I didn't think he was going to get stopped. It didn't look like he was nowhere near getting stopped, but he was way down on the scorecards going into round 8. Going into round 8, I had it 4 rounds to 2 for Inoue. Some people had it a clean sweep 6-0. Some people had it 5-1. I had it 4-2 Inoue going into round 8.
Which is crazy.
Matter of fact, I had it 4. I had it 5. I had 5-2. Sorry, I had 5-2 going into round 8. Dems Chen commented again.
Here's one thing we can agree on. Yeah, going off that guy's comment, which I agree with, when he said, yeah, Naoya was not perfect. one thing I think we both can agree on is there's going to be a lot of hype over Inoue now, but I think we both can agree that he's not the best fighter in the world. He's not. He's absolutely not.
He's
He's
absolutely.
definitely one of. He's definitely up there, but there's some fighters out there that can absolutely beat him.
I think on the pound for pound list, they have him ranked number 2 in the world right now. I would definitely put Naoya Inoue in the pound for pound top 5, no question about it.
For sure.
Would I put him in the top 2? That's to remain to be seen. I think, obviously there's fighters that should be a lot higher who don't have the resume right now to be higher, like Shakur Stevenson. He hasn't fought enough good fighters, but obviously Shakur Stevenson should be on that list. I think the winner of Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, should be higher than Naoya Inoue, and then obviously Alexander.
Sure.
And then obviously I think Alexander Usyk should be on there as well. But other than that, I think Naoya Inoue is like number 4, number 5 on the pound for pound list right now, and I think you have to give your credit to him. He's definitely a top 5 fighter in the world right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Now, can we just first of all take a moment to appreciate how boxing has had a really good year this year? We've had some really good fights, bro. Have you thought about
boxing?
it?
Boxing, this has been the best
since we've seen the best fight the best. Like you don't really see it anymore. So it's great that it's coming back.
2023 has had the best year of boxing that I have seen in a long time. I mean, we started off with Caleb Plant and David Benavidez.
Yep.
From Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, we had Ryan Garcia versus Javonte Davis. After that, we had
Devin Haney.
We had Devin Haney versus Lomachenko.
Yep.
Even though
Josh
that fight
Taylor,
was a robbery. Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez was a tremendous fight.
You had David Benavidez
versus Caleb Plant, right?
Yep.
2023 has been a tremendous year of fighting. Actually, I thought this was going to be one of the better fights of 2023. It ended up being one of the more one-sided fights of 2023.
Yeah, that's true.
It just really goes to show that Naoya Inoue is a special fighter, and I gotta give major credit where credit is due. I have to eat my words on this one. I thought that Stephen Fulton was going to come out and basically bully the bully, because Naoya Inoue has been a bully his whole career, and I thought Stephen Fulton was going to use his size and bully the bully, and he went in there and got bullied.
Sure did. Now, what do you think about this Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight? Because that's going to be very interesting. I think we both can agree, probably not going to end in a knockout, but will we still get a good fight? I think so.
Now, a lot of people are probably not going to agree with my assessment on this fight, but I'm going to stick with my prediction on this one. And I've had my doubts on this prediction. I've always thought that Terrence Crawford is the better boxer. I thought he comes out with more. He comes out with more fundamentals. I think Errol Spence is really robotic. He has a tremendous jab, but he's very robotic. That being said, he's a much naturally bigger man. I think that Terrence Crawford can win this fight, and I'm picking him to win this fight. But to come win this fight, he has to fight a perfect fight. He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to stay busy. He cannot fight on the defensive with Errol Spence. He's gonna have to bring the fight to Errol Spence. He's gonna have to try to outscore him, and it's not gonna be easy. Terrence Crawford is the B side in this fight. Errol Spence is the A side in this fight. So in order for Terrence Crawford to get a decision, he's gonna have to do what he does best, which is land those body shots. He's a great counterpuncher, and Terrence Crawford's one of the best adjusting fighters I've ever seen. Like, he's really good at fighting on adjustments. So I think whatever Errol Spence does, he just has to match it. And he can't let Errol Spence hurt him, because one thing about Spence is Spence has some real power, and he's the natural welterweight here. So Crawford has to be careful, but I think he can win this fight as long as he's careful. He stays poised and he sticks to the game plan. He can outscore Errol Spence on this fight, because I think this fight's going to the scorecards. I don't think anyone's getting stopped. I don't think Errol Spence is going to stop Crawford. Crawford has too much will to win.
Might not even be a knockdown.
I don't think there will be a knockdown in this fight.
Yeah, might not
now,
be.
I did predict if there was to be a knockdown in this fight, it would probably come through Earl. I don't think Crawford could knock down Earl, because Earl's too big.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
But Crawford's such a smart fighter that I don't see Earl knocking him down either. So I think Earl's going to have to, But I mean, Earl makes me nervous though, because Earl, when he throws that jab, and I mean, he throws more punches per round than Crawford, even though Crawford is the more precise fighter, and he selects his punches at a better time. I think Errol Spence is the much busier fighter, so we have to be alert on who's gonna come with the game plan and who's gonna be able to unleash their game plan first. The first few rounds of that fight are gonna be very, very interesting.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Who do you predict? Who do you have winning that fight?
I got Crawford. I'm with you. And I've thought that from the beginning. When they first announced it, I said I think Terrence Crawford's going to win. I think it'll go to the scorecard, like you said, but I think Terrence Crawford's going to. I think Terrence Crawford is just very, very slightly, just barely a better fighter than Errol Spence, but we'll see.
I do too, but
I'm with you though. I'm worried about Errol Spence's size too. I am worried about that. So
he's the
you
much
just never
naturally
know.
bigger man. And then if the fight is close, I want people to keep in mind that Errol Spence is the A side. He is Al Heyman's prize fighter. So if it's close on the scorecards, I feel as though Al Heyman and the judges will give the close fight to Spence because clearly they want Spence to win and be Terrence Crawford is the
That's
B
been
side.
obvious, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that Terrence Crawford is the B
sure.
side in this situation.
Yep.
But I still think he can win. You know, Terrence Crawford just has to stay to his game plan. He can't do what Ryan Garcia did. He can't get excited and try to go for the home run. He just has to outbox Spence. Because if he tries to go for the home run, that's where Spence could catch him and hurt him. Because Spence can hurt him if Crawford gets reckless. And that's my worry. I have seen Crawford get reckless and I've seen him get caught. And I don't want him to get caught in this fight being reckless with a guy like Earl Spence. You can't be reckless with a guy like Earl Spence.
Yep, you definitely can't. I didn't realize this, but Naoya Inoue is what, 30?
He is 30 years old. He is in his prime. He is
literally
he is 30 years old.
Literally,
He just beat a guy at 28 years old, also in his prime. And I mean, Naoya Inoue is out of this world, man. I mean, all I can say about Naoya is I have to retract my statement about Naoya Inoue, man. He is a tremendous fighter. And can you hear me still?
I can hear you. I just can't see you anymore.
Okay. I don't know why you can't see me.
Yeah,
But sorry guys, technical difficulties. But yeah, I think Naoya Inoue just proved to the world that he's on the pound for pound list. He's a tremendous fighter, and we have to tip our hat off to Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue is a special fighter. Like I said, the only question I have about Naoya Inoue now is, can he fight in the United States, and can that power translate to 126? Which I think we just answered that question. I think he absolutely can translate his power to 126.
Okay. See if you can fix your camera. Your screen is literally black. I'm looking at it on my phone on YouTube, so everybody else who's watching this can see that your screen is black.
Okay, let's see if I can fix that.
Try like flipping the camera or something, because your stuff literally just.
I noticed that I'm frozen. Let's see. I don't know why I'm still frozen. I'm trying to figure out why it's doing that. We have a comment. Inoue wins. What the fuck? I want to see him versus Tanker Shakur or Stevenson. Lightweight. Daddy Inoue. I don't know about the Daddy Inoue part, but you don't want to see Naoya Inoue fight Tanker Shakur. He would get knocked out.
He would lose.
We all agree that Naoya Inoue's power would definitely translate over to the 126 pound division, maybe even the 130 pound division. Once you start talking about translating that power to the 135 pound division, I think you have a different question. I think Naoya Inoue would get smoked at the 135 pound division by multiple guys. I don't think just Shakur or Haney or Tank would beat him. I think Loma would beat him. I think Teofimo would beat him. I think there's a lot of guys that would beat Naoya Inoue in that weight class. He's just too small to bang with those guys, in my honest opinion.
He's also just downright. He's also just downright not a better fighter.
Some guy, Next Generation Combat Sports says Shakur doesn't have the pop for Inoue. I mean, Shakur Stevenson fights at 135 pounds, and Shakur Stevenson might be the best boxer in the world. When you talk about skill sets, it's one thing to knock out Stephen Fulton. It's another thing to knock out Shakur Stevenson. He would not beat Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson would absolutely school Inoue in every way, shape, and form. I think we have to understand that there are levels and that there are weight classes for a reason. Inoue is good at the 122 pound division. I think he could translate this to 126, maybe 130. But to start saying he would translate this to 135, 140, I think is utterly ridiculous. I think Inoue fans still have to slow down.
Do you know the next matchup for Inoue? Yes, we just talked about it. D-Hims. Hold on, who did we just say? Oh, Marlon Tapales. That it looks like that's going to be the next matchup.
Yeah, Marlon Tabales. I don't think Marlon Tabales has what it takes to beat Naoya Inoue. I honestly don't think I think that's honestly a waste of time for Naoya Inoue. I think Naoya Inoue just needs to go up to 126 and start fighting the biggest names out there to prove that if I were him, I would move right up to 126, maybe defend the belt at 122 one time, and then go right up to 126 and fight Brandon Figueroa or someone of that magnitude. There's a lot of people he could fight at 126. The 126-pound division has a lot of killers.
Yeah, that's true.
And
He's got some good fighters.
I want to see Naoya Inoue. What were you saying, Echoes?
No, I was just saying. I'm saying you're right. Yeah, that division has some really good fighters.
Some really good fighters. I don't know why my camera is still frozen, y'all. Still working on that. But
yeah, it's like black.
Yeah, I'm assuming Inoue, since he just fought in July, his next fight would probably be somewhere around November, December.
November, yeah, right.
Yeah, right before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be about 5 months till we get another fight.
From Inoue, yes.
We got a comment. We got a comment from Independent that says, "Fix your screen."
Yeah, I need to fix my screen. I don't know how to. I can't click. I'm trying to look at everything I can click on here.
Yeah, what does it look like on your side? Like, does it look black on your side too?
No, it just your screen is actually moving. Mine is just it's showing me frozen, and that's pretty much what it's showing.
Oh,
but we have a lot more.
Some of these comments first. Behem said, "What weight class?
What weight class is Pac-Man? Pac-Man or Manny? Are you talking about Manny Pacquiao? Who's Pac-Man? Are we talking about Manny Pacquiao?
I don't know who Pac-Man is either. I think he's talking about Manny Pacquiao.
To respond to you, Next Generation Combat Sports TV, I think that Naoya Inoue is already a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know what you mean by solidify. He's already solidified himself. He's already a first ballot Hall of Famer. He just won 2 belts at 122. So like I said, him fighting one fight at 122 to defend his belts, maybe go undisputed, beat another champion at 122. Then after that, go right up to 126. Because like I said, there's not too many guys that can beat him at 122. I mean, and we know that now.
Right.
And he was talking about Manny Pacquiao. Okay, so you're trying to just throw it back. Manny
He's
Pacquiao started,
right?
Well, Manny Pacquiao started his career at 108, moved up, and he fought all the way up to junior middleweight, 154. So started at 108, went up to 154, made noise at 135, 140, and obviously 147. That's where he made his name at.
But which by the way, is absolutely insane. Just so everybody understands.
I don't want to make any excuses for Manny Pacquiao, but we all know Manny Pacquiao juiced up and cheated. But
something's up with that. Wait, hold on. Start over because I didn't even notice. You said he started off at 104.
Yeah, he started off at minimum weight to start his career. Manny Pacquiao, when he first started fighting, he started fighting at 108. He ended up fighting Mayweather, and he fought Mayweather at 154, I believe, at junior middleweight. So. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao definitely juiced up. But that
he started off all the way at flyweight and made his way all the way to.
Well, he started off even smaller than flyweight. He started off at minimum weight, and yes, he made his way all the way up to junior middleweight, which is why people were questioning if he was juicing up, because that's a lot of weight classes. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
that is a lot.
Manny Pacquiao was a 7 division champion or 8 division champion.
No, you're right. I think it is 7 or 8 divisions. Yeah.
Now, Chen, to add to your comment by saying Naoya Inoue might move up to 140. I think if the paydays are there, he will move up to 140. But I need you to realize if he moves up to 140, he will get smoked.
Yeah,
he will lose at 140.
I don't think he can do it. Yeah,
he can move up to 140 for the paydays for the big name fights like Inoue versus Tank. We might see an Inoue versus Tank, but I'm telling you right now, Tank would knock him out. That might be a fight we.
Go ahead. No, keep going. My bad.
I really think that Javonte Davis versus Naoya Inoue might be a fight that we might see in the future, because I think it's a fight for the taking now. Not now that people are saying Naoya Inoue can move up 3-4 weight classes. I think this is a fight that is realistic for the future. Javonte Davis versus Naoya Inoue.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm telling all the Naoya Inoue fans in the comment section, I don't think his power would translate to 135. I think he would get schooled by all the big names at 135. Haney, Shakur, Tank, you name it. Frank Martin, Keyshawn. I don't think Naoya Inoue would beat any of those guys. They're just too big. I'm not saying Inoue doesn't have the skill set to hang with those guys, but once he realizes he can't hurt those guys and those guys can hurt him, I think he would be in trouble. He said Inoue.
Next gen asks, do you think Inoue is juicing as well?
That's a really good question, next gen. It's hard to say, man. You know, originally, initially, I thought that
It is hard
Inoue
to
was
say.
juicing. I thought Inoue was juicing initially. It's hard to say, man. I'm not going to take away from his moment. He's a tremendous champion. He knocked out Stephen Fulton. He showed the world that he's a tremendous champion, and he definitely deserves to be on that pound for pound list. And he's a Hall of Fame fighter. That being said, I don't put it out the question for sure that he's juicing. You know, I don't really trust his integrity completely. Um, I want to hear what Cool Boy Stephen Fulton's team has to say about the gloves. You know, he was busted open, I think, by round 3. I've never once seen Cool Boy Stephen Fulton leaked open that early in a fight. He cuts really well, and he's gone up against some really good punchers. So, I mean, there's a lot of things about Inoue that I haven't questioned, but like I said, I'm not going to make any excuses, and you have to tip your hat off to Naoya Inoue for a great performance today.
Now, just so we're clear, I'm sure you know this too. Steroids definitely is a part of boxing. So I like how you said we really don't know. Because didn't Canelo Alvarez get in trouble for that?
Yes, Canelo Alvarez absolutely got in trouble for
Like
that,
it's
which is why
absolutely a part of the sport. And it's and I'm sure you know this too. Juicing is a part of every sport. I don't care what anybody says. In most of these sports, especially sports like football, NFL, these guys are juicing. That's just what it
absolutely,
is. Yeah, these guys are
absolutely.
juicing.
Yeah, Canelo was definitely juicing. There's no question about that. Canelo Alvarez was absolutely 100% juicing.
Mm-hmm.
As for Naoya Inoue, we don't know. I'm more concerned about Naoya Inoue in the loaded gloves situation. That's a situation that I want to come out. I want them to speak publicly about, but we may never hear the end. You know, Stephen Fulton just made a $5 million payday, the highest payday of his career.
He got how much?
He got over $5 million for that fight.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really good.
Really good payday. So if
I'm
I'm
sure he's
Stephen,
happy about that. He may not have won, but man, that
if
ain't
I'm
bad.
Stephen Fulton, win or lose, to get paid $5 million, I mean, I wouldn't really complain too much. So we
Yeah,
might not
and
hear him
he
complain.
had a nice little vacation in Japan. He probably never even been to Japan before. Japan is beautiful, bro.
Next Gen also had another question. He said Inoue would cook Regis right now. I don't like Regis's footwork, and I think Regis has a lot to learn. He has a lot to perfect. Regis
Yep.
Prograis has a lot to work on. But would Naoya Inoue beat Regis Prograis? That's a good question, man. I mean, Naoya Inoue is so much smaller than Regis Prograis, man. I have to see that power translate to 130 first, 135 before I start putting him up against 140 pounders. But I can see why you're saying Inoue would beat him. From a skill uh, perspective, I think Naoya Inoue is the much more skilled fighter than Regis Prograis. He's much faster. He's much more precise, better footwork. But he's the much smaller guy. It's one thing to knock out Stephen Fulton 4 pounds heavier than you. It's one thing to knock out guys 20 pounds naturally heavier than you, 25 pounds naturally heavier than you. So I think we need to slow our roll with Naoya Inoue and realize that he's still a small guy, and we can't just automatically say he's better than these humongous guys.
Right.
But for the sport of boxing, since people are hyping Naoya Inoue's name so much and they're so amazed with that knockout that he just presented, I would love to see him versus Shakur Stevenson or Javonte Davis. I think those are fights that need to be made. I think Naoya Inoue is willing to go up weight classes to fight guys of that magnitude, just for his resume. I mean, it would only cement his legacy to fight guys of those magnitudes.
Yep.
He said Regis is 35, ain't working on nothing no more. I agree with you. I think Regis Prograis has reached his ceiling. I think he's a power puncher. I don't think he's very skilled. Bad footwork, very bad at adjusting on the fly. I don't think Regis Prograis is a really good fighter adjusting. And Naoya Inoue could definitely outskill him. But I'm just telling you now, if Regis lands one of those overhand rights on Inoue, I mean, that's a big man hitting him with that overhand right, not Stephen Fulton or Paul Butler or no Donaire. This is Regis Prograis, a guy who is a humongous guy. So we just have to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. That's really all I got.
Any last minute comments you have to say, Echoes?
Yeah, nothing too much. I'm just really happy for the sport of boxing. I think 2023 has been an excellent year, and I can't wait for this Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight. That's really all I got. And I really think that Naoya Inoue has really proved himself. I really think he has. He's solidified
Naoya
himself.
Inoue, Naoya Inoue has definitely proved himself. I will definitely be making apologetic video on Naoya Inoue, giving him his utmost credit.
Good.
And also I will be streaming live for the Terrence Crawford Earl Spence fight. I will have that fight on live at the big screen TV, so I will be live projecting that whole fight while the fight is going on.
Wait. You're not gonna show the fight on there, are you?
No, I'm not going to show the fight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be watching it on the big screen, but I'll be live. I'll be live projecting the fight round by round,
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay,
as the
good.
fight's going on.
That copyright boy. Okay.
Oh
good.
yeah, they'll copyright me for sure. But what I will do is I will go live and I will just show my face, and I will be I'll just narrate round by round for people who aren't watching out there.
Yeah, no, good idea. And I'll be tuning in too, so that'd be good. Yo.
I'm just gonna be narrating the fight for people who can't watch, and I'll be live streaming just to narrate round by round, so I can let people know who's winning the fight and stuff like that. Because not everyone will be able to pay-per-view stream it.
Okay, cool. All right, well, we'll leave it at that, man. Good talking with you.
All right, man. It was a pleasure with you, Echoes.
Yeah, keep doing your thing, my boy.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, bro.